Hey guys, so today we're checking out the Pocket Rivet style fender flares in matte black, fitting all 2007 and 2018 JK Wranglers. So if you're in search of a safari style or overland appearance to your JK, these fenders are a very affordable way to achieve that look. Now these fenders will not only add additional styling to your rig with the flat build, pocketed style, and multiple marker lights, but these will also increase your clearance that you have inside your wheel well areas if you're searching for a fender to do that. Now this set will also keep a little bit of a wider style compared to some other flat flares that can be very narrow, giving you a little bit more coverage to your tire and also a lot of room, again, inside that wheel well area in comparison to an oversized flare. Now these flares will be made of a durable ABS plastic material that will be able to take any light impacts off-road and offer a nice matte black appearance. And it's very similar to the factory one, so if you're a fan of that factory style contrast that the fenders have to offer, then these are going to be a great pick. Now what I really like about this option is the additional lighting. Now most fenders will come with the standard one marker light per side, but this comes with 3 LED markers, which will make you a lot more noticeable and will also match with any other LEDs or amber LEDs that you currently have on your setup. Now I would like to mention that they will require a little bit of wiring to our plug and play, but there is some minor wiring included, so I would just keep that in mind when picking up this set of flares. Not to mention, this will also come with stainless steel hardware, and the pocket style that this fender has will add a nice riveted look to the Jeep. Now with all that being said, these are going to be incredibly affordable for the set of 4. I would like to mention that I only have 2 on the table here, but this will come with the front and the rear and all of the hardware and lights that you need, but this is again going to be affordable at roughly $175 for the set. Now when comparing these to other options available on the site, again these are going to have that triple LED light look, the pocketed look, and it's going to have that flat build. Now you will see options that are very similar to this with the flat pocket appearance, however they may be a little bit wider than this, offering a bit more coverage to the tire, or they may be a little bit thicker when it comes to the flare itself. However, taking a look at plastic flares as a whole, a lot are going to have some of these features, but not all of them, which will leave you compromising. So overall, I think if you're not looking to break the bank on a set of flares and you're a fan of that safari look for better clearance, then this is the set to choose. Now install will be pretty straightforward. Like I said, there is a little bit of minor wiring, but I am still going to give it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 2 hours to get the job done with some basic hand tools. And one of our guys in the shop is going to show you how to do that step by step. So that wraps it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, wire strippers and crimpers, pliers, a clip remover tool, a couple size screwdrivers, a 7 and 10 millimeter wrench, a 10 millimeter socket, T-taps and spades, a paint or a grease pen, a pry tool, and a test light. What's up guys? Today we're going to be installing a set of fender flares on our Wrangler, so let's get started. So to remove our front fender flare, there are a couple 10 millimeter bolts and pop clips that we need to get out, and then we can just pull straight back and disconnect our side marker harness. So we have these 3 pop clips, and then these 2 10 millimeters, one up here, there's one towards the front by our harness, one up in here, and one up here. We're missing a few, so we just have the 3 here, so we'll remove those. So we have these 2 10 millimeter screws, one up top, one over here, one up in here, and one here. We're missing a bunch of our screws, so we just have these 3, so we're going to remove those and our 3 pop clips. Now we can remove our clips with a panel remover tool. So now coming to the back side, we have 6 push clips in our rear fender well that we need to get out, and then we can just pull it straight out. So we have 3 pop clips on each side. There's going to be one here, and one up here. So the next 3 are pretty much in the same positions as the other side. We have one here, and one up here. And now we can pull back to remove our fender flare. So now, just like the front, we have these clips left over that we can take a trim panel remover tool and pop out. So now we can remove our tail light. So we're going to need to splice into this for our fender lights. So we have 4 Phillips head screws that we can remove and pull this out. So if you want to retain your factory fender liners with your new fender flares, you're going to have to cut along this line here, as well as right here, and you're going to have to drill through all of these plastic rivets up here. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be installing our new fender flares without fender liners. So let's get started on that. So now to install our fender flares, we're going to have to drill a hole into our fender. So there's one hole in the corner that doesn't have a corresponding hole on the fender. So we can line it up, get our hole straight, and then mark it with a paint pen or a piece of chalk, something like that. And then we'll take an 11/32 drill bit and drill a hole through there. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to be drilling that hole. We're just going to be using the other holes there. So let's get this fender on. Now this is going to be our little mark that we made right here. So to install our fender flare, in the hole we drilled and our 3 top holes, we're going to be using our bolt, our silver washer, and our nut. And then don't forget to insert your bolt through the hole you drilled as well. And then we can get a 10mm wrench and 10mm socket, snug these up. Then for our next hole, all the way at the front, we're going to be putting our bolt into the factory U-clip. And then we can tighten that one down with a 10mm as well. So now for our next 3 holes on the back side of the fender, we're going to be using another one of our bolts. This time we're going to be using a thin black washer instead of the silver, and our same nut. And now we can go ahead and tighten those down with a 10mm socket and a 10mm wrench once again. So our next step is going to be to install our side markers. So we can do that with our silver Phillips head screw, our small silver washers, and small silver nuts. And then we can snug these up with a Phillips head screwdriver and a 7mm wrench. Now we can reconnect our wiring harness and repeat the same process on the other side. So now moving on to the back, we have these 8 white little screw mounting clips. So they're going to go in these first 4 holes on the side and the first 4 holes over here, and then we're going to put our screws through them to mount the fender flare. So now we can take our medium-sized screw with our flat washer and thread it through the hole. So now for these last two holes up top, we're going to use those same bolts from the front, another one of the flat black washers, and a nut on the back. And then just like the front, we can take a 10mm socket and a 10mm wrench and snug these down. So now our next step is to install our side marker harness. So we can go ahead and press it through, and then we have one of our screws and then a washer and a nut that'll go on the inside. And now we can tighten those down with a screwdriver and a 7mm wrench. Now we can fish our wires through a hole into our brake light. And we can mount our control box. So now we can route and tuck our wires so we can feed everything behind the fender. And then we can come back in with zip ties to kind of clean this up a little better. So now we can go ahead and turn on our running lights for the brake light. Got a test light, hook it up to a ground, and start to probe and find our power wire. And there we go. So it's going to be the white with the purple stripe through it. There you go. So it's going to be the top middle, which is that white wire with the purple strip. All right, so now we're going to splice into our power and our ground with a vampire clip. And then we'll connect the spade into our harness and connect those together. So we can pull back on this a little bit, give us some space. And we can tighten that down with some pliers. Now we can slide our spades over. And we can crimp that down. Now we can connect our black to our ground. And our white to our positive. So now we can reconnect our taillight harness and reinstall our taillight.
that's going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the Pocket Rivet style fender flares in matte black fitting all 2007 to 2018 JK Wranglers. For more videos and products just like this, remember to always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.